No,
No.
the invitation you sent us through email just went across right here, so it was
Good.
easy. So, yeah.
Yeah, we had people put in Oconomowoc before and ended up downtown Oconomowoc, which is not where we're at, so.
Is there more than one of you guys, or is this it?
So this is our
You
home
moved from
office, yeah.
Oconomowoc to here. How do you say the name of
Nashota.
the Nashota?
Yeah.
Nashota.
Where do you guys live?
Well, I'm from Madison.
Okay.
Okay,
I am from Illinois. I live in Lake Geneva with my sister. And
Okay.
I commute from Lake Geneva to Milwaukee.
Okay.
okay.
Well, I lived on campus last year. I played soccer with them, and I quit this year just because I was broke and I wanted to work and stuff
Okay.
like that. So I got a new job. I got a job offer, so I took it. So I'm finishing my senior year.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congrats.
It must be a big soccer school, because I think we've talked to a lot of people that have played soccer before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah. Cool.
Well, tell us a little bit about you guys, about yourselves.
All right,
Fun.
me first.
Yeah.
Sure. What do you want to know? Yes, how far back, or?
Maybe just a little bit of like the history
Of the company, or?
or I'm sorry, about like you guys and how you started and like your careers, and then moving to the company.
Sure, okay. Well, let's see, I grew up in Pennsylvania, went to school in Ohio at the University of Dayton, and that's where I got a civil engineering degree. And that's also where I met my wife, who is from Wisconsin, so that's how we ended up back here, is we wanted to find a job that was closer to one of our families, because we were near neither of them, so. And so I started at MSI General in 2001 as a superintendent, and worked my way up through the organization, different roles. I was a project manager, then director of construction for a while. We had a steel crew where we had iron workers and sheet metal workers that helped us with the steel structure of the building. And then I managed the estimating department for a while, and then I think about 7 years ago became president, and then 2 years ago CEO, and also about 5 years ago started to buy the business. And so, yeah, so that's the Cliff Notes version of my career
President.
trajectory.
President, CEO, and co-owner.
Yes. Yep. So, yeah.
Really cool.
I was born in California, and then I moved to Wisconsin when I was like 5. I've lived most of my life in Oconomowoc. Went to the high school in Oconomowoc. I did not go to college, and I was working in Milwaukee and started a family here, so I needed to find something closer to be a mom and be an employee somewhere. So I found MSI General, and that was going to be like 29 years ago now. And I started at the front desk, answering phones, and like 10 years into that, I was given the opportunity to be the office manager, and it's kind of a short story. I do a lot of different things. Office manager doesn't really say a whole lot about all the different things that I do, but
Yes.
yeah, so that's how it all started.
So it seems like both you guys worked your way up here at
Mhm.
MSI General.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you guys always been like in this general area? Because I know you guys were just closer to Milwaukee, wasn't it? Or
No.
somewhere else?
We've always been here, I guess, since I've worked here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the company actually started in a barn in Oconomowoc
Oh, okay.
That's 69 years ago in a couple of weeks. So, and then we did have an office in downtown Oconomowoc for a number of years, but I'm not sure when we moved out here. I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a while ago. But I
So-
know that people see like our job site signs everywhere, so they
Yeah.
sometimes think that we're located in various locations, but this is our home.
This is our
Okay.
world
And then we
headquarters.
build
Yeah,
in many different places.
right.
Yeah. Online and whatnot, it just says from Oconomowoc, like located in Nashota.
Mhm.
So we were just wondering about that.
Yeah.
You guys do a lot of in-house work, like for contractors, or like is it all you guys subcontract out for like the majority of your guys' work?
Majority of it is subcontracted.
Okay.
So we're an integrated design build
Okay.
company, and so what that means is we have our own architects and engineers in-house that do the design, and then we have the construction professionals that do the on-site supervision and coordination actually oversee or choreograph the construction projects. And so our steel crew that we had, it's probably been about 7 years since since we stopped that division of the business. And then from that point on, it's been professional services. So,
Like what kind of just like stuff do you guys like do, like to be a little bit more specific? Like online, it's like pretty broad,
Mhm.
but like I was like just curious, like what more of like a narrowed down like project of like or like an example of like a project like what would that be?
Right. So I would say a majority of our projects are in the manufacturing or industrial or distribution framework. So it's probably about 70% of our business. And it could be anywhere from metal fabrication to plastic injection molding, cardboard, food processing, a lot of different types of manufacturing. But then in addition to that, we'll do a couple of churches or school projects per year, a little bit of retail. Like right now we've got a big grocery store for Cemex that's going on. And then we also do some office remodel projects too. So
Do you guys do any concrete work or is that all?
Subcontracted out.
yeah,
Yep.
subcontracted out. Yeah. So,
Yeah, my dad is a project manager in Chicagoland, so I hear all the
Construction talk.
Yeah, oftentimes. So yeah, I'm not like super familiar with it, but
mhm.
I've grown up around it. So
Right.
And there's other companies that do construction or general contracting that do have crews that
Mhm.
do concrete or carpentry,
Right.
and we subcontract all of it. They're really truly an extension of who we
Mhm.
are to get us from a design idea all the way to the finished product of handing over the key and a new addition
Yeah,
or
we have
building.
really good, strong partnership relationships with our subcontractors, and like to what Kelly said, they really feel like part of our team, but we don't financially own them.
right,
So,
right.
yep.
But you guys do use consistently the same subcontractors?
Yes, we have about 5 in every trade
Okay.
that we repeatedly work
Yeah.
with, and that's kind of our normal staple of partners we work with. But then every time we meet with a new client, they might have 1 or 2 people that they work with regularly, and so we'll happily work with them. And I mean, honestly, that's how some of those like kind of five preferred ones have gotten that way. Is,
Yeah.
you know, they came from another relationship somewhere along the way. And I mean, some of those relationships with these they go back 50 years, so way before our time, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they stay with them way beyond our time.
You're right.
Yeah.
What's like your guys' like general radius? Like how far do you guys go?
Our goal is that everyone can be home at night, and so we try to stay about an hour and a half radius. But we've traveled before for certain clients. We've gone to Utah, we've been in Washington D.C., a lot of Midwest. I mean, Minnesota, Michigan, Kansas, Iowa. I'm trying to think.
I was gonna say, do you guys like tap into other states? I don't know. So
We don't market ourselves out of the state, but if we have a local client that we've worked with before that is expanding their business, then if it makes sense for us and we have people that are willing to travel, then we'll travel with them. It's obviously you lose your local subcontractor base that we normally
Right.
have, but even on some of those travel projects, they've traveled with us. Like the job in Utah, we had 3 of our normal crews actually went out there and sent their crew out there to work. So
But this is like a snapshot of
Yeah, I'm looking at
what
all
we're
of
doing
them.
right now. This is
Right.
like the current jobs, and then all of these logos that you see over here are companies that we've worked with at one time or another.
Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
The
is the one
one-
downtown.
Been a few
Just see it.
times.
And they came and did a little like afternoon ice cream cart
right.
party for us, so that was
Very
super
nice.
fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Funny thing, yeah, there's a bunch of things to see.
Yeah.
And this room gives us the opportunity when we have a new client that comes in that is interested to work with us, to see this map and
Right.
to see
Yeah.
how extensive our work is and how broad different kinds of companies like Ken was talking about. It's not just industrial, it's all different kinds. And conversations get taken up by, oh, I didn't know you built for whoever,
Mhm.
and all those like 6 degree of separation kind of plays in, and that's how you make the connection right away.
Yeah.
Kelly, I have a question for you. What would you say you do on like a day-to-day basis? I know your job role could mean like many different things.
Yeah, it's never the same day twice,
Yeah.
and that's why I love it. Very much, I love to be busy, and I love to be moving, and I love to be interacting with people. I guess my main thing is that I'm interacting with everybody that works here, where we have directors that manage departments. I, in one way or the other, am working with everyone here, which I love to do. I love relationships. I love to build relationships out with our clients. We do groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings and marketing our relationship on social media, and being able to go, for me to get on site, like Ken is able to go and see jobs on job meetings, and as the progress goes, I don't typically get out, but for special events like that, I'm able to get out and meet the owners and have a special day with them to commemorate a new project or the completion of one. So it's super exciting, and
Awesome.
yeah.
Very nice.
Plus contracts.
Yeah, and then there's the stuff that's like kind of boring, and it's like me and the computer, and yeah, important things, so, yeah.
Recruiting. I mean, you.
Right,
she does a
HR.
great job helping us recruit for new team members, so.
Well, so the class that we're in is business ethics, and you guys know that.
Mhm.
So like the project that we're working on is called the Good Stories Project. So
Okay.
a lot of it is like we're like looking for stories, and we created like a million questions that we could ask you guys. But
Sure.
I started a couple that I think are like important towards the project.
Okay.
And the first question I started was, or actually this is yours. I don't know if you want to read it except for this.
Basically, since you started as like the superintendent, and you said you've been a project manager, and now you're higher up, how does that affect like your role as a CEO?
I
That
think
you've
it's,
like gone through the various levels.
right. I think it's been, I guess, I don't know how I could be effectively in this role having not gone through those other roles first. Because it made me appreciate what each of those roles brings to the organization and how they interact with the other departments and the other roles in the company. And so I can easily relate to what they're going through because I sat in those seats. And but it also helps me to, I guess, streamline some of the processes because I know what's worked in the past. I know, having been here for almost 25 years, I know how things have evolved over time. I mean, just the technology alone that's changed our business from when we first started out, it was, the impetus of cell phones. And so now it's, texting and emailing, and, you have to be ready and on the spot to respond to clients. And versus before, they might write a letter and put it in the mail and you get it 2 days later. And, so now it's all that instant communication, which is, in some ways it's helped us a lot, but in other ways I think it's decreased the amount of patience people have because they expect an answer now because they can go to AI, ChatGPT or Google or whatever and just get an answer, even though it might not be a qualified vetted answer. So.
And then I kind of have a follow-up question based off that. You touched on it a little bit, but how do you have been in the shoes of your employees now affect like how you treat them, or I guess your take on like the ethics around being in charge?
I guess I don't ever, and Kelly can attest to this, I don't ever look at myself as, well, I'm the boss and this is the way. I have the privilege of being responsible for everybody. And so I always try to treat people the same way, right? Regardless of who they are, where they came from, what their background is. I mean, our subcontractor partners that are, putting concrete in the ground or laying pipe or setting steel or putting a roof on, I treat them no different than I do when I'm meeting with the CEO of a billion-dollar company. Like, it doesn't matter to me because we're all people and we're all here to try to help each of us become the best versions of ourselves and to be successful. And I truly believe that everyone, certainly within our team, but even in the greater, the greater society, are working their hardest and trying their best. And so it's our job to give them the tools they need to be successful and to help them and encourage them. And a good example is last week or 2 weeks ago when it was sub-zero out, we had concrete crews on site and excavators on site that were digging footings and pouring concrete, and I mean, it was brutal. And the couple of sites I went to, I personally walked around and thanked every single person that was on that site, just because I know that I would rather not be out there, and I know that they're working on our behalf, for our client, and so I wanted them to know how much I appreciate it. And I don't think any of them knew like my role in the company,
Yeah.
but it wasn't about me, it was about them. And so that's how I really go about my day.
I feel like was it our class? Or it might have been another class, but we got asked a question of like, are you a different person from like when you're at work, or like when you're with friends and family, or like, and like, I don't know, it was like hard to ask that question, or like answer that question, because I feel like when I'm at work, like, I'm quiet, I don't talk to anybody, but then like when I'm with my friends and family, like I'm a completely different person. Like I'm a true authentic self. So
Yeah.
it's like good to see like somebody who's like in your shoes, like me.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to be any different.
Well, I'm
So
just saying because I've had bosses that like
yeah.
I like over like last summer, like
Mhm.
I work a construction job over the summer.
Mhm.
We're pouring concrete and like he just sits in the, like our project manager just sits in his truck, like it's,
Right.
and he's like comes out, yells at us, and it's like frustrating. So it's like, why don't you get your butt out here and come pick
Right.
up a shovel?
Yeah.
So it's like good to see like.
Yeah. Well, there's every role that we have here is important to the success of the organization. Whether it's, picking up the mail or, collecting a check for a significant dollar amount for the work that we earned. I mean, they all are important. And I try to remind everyone that, those extra, like getting one more phone call made in the day is a huge dividend down the road. If you can, coordinate one more construction activity between a group of trades or between our office, and just that getting that one more thing done, if you do that every single day, that's 200 work days. It means 200 activities are getting done, one day earlier than they otherwise would have. And the amount of benefit that has on the rest of the team is incredible. Like I can't put a price tag on it, I can't quantify it, but it helps, and we know it helps. And I think that's the other thing that I love about the team, and one of the reasons that I didn't come here with the intent of buying this business. I did not. But I've grown to love it. I've grown to love how we operate and how we function as a team, and the amazing work that we get to do with the amazing clients. And that's why I've decided to take that responsibility on. So, and it's because we work hard with each other and we work hard for each other, and that's what makes a difference. I mean, you guys on your soccer team, right? I mean, the harder you work and the harder you help each other, the more fun it is, right?
100%.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you some like ethical questions now. How do you ensure that your subcontractors and partners follow the same high ethical standards that MSI General does?
You want this one?
Well, we don't just let anybody work with us. They have to technically inquire about it, then we send them information. They have to sign off on an agreement of what we expect out of our partnership with them, just like we do with our clients. And we hold them to that. And if things don't come together, we do have a Tuesday meeting that the entire company is part of, and we talk about projects that we have worked on, are working on, and are going to be working on. Part of that conversation is with about our subcontractors, how they're performing, what's going on, what can we do to help. Do we need to meet? Do we can call them, like what's going on? And sometimes they are suggested to not be part of our team anymore as far as a subcontractor. And that happens. But a lot of times we do work with them and make it so it's right. So we hold them accountable. Just like our employees, our subcontractors are also held accountable for the relationship that we build with them.
Has there ever been a specific time where like the subcontractor doesn't come through with whatever part? And if so, like how did you deal with that with your client or the customer?
We probably answer that better.
I have a meeting this afternoon specifically on this issue. So, you know, every project we deal with there's a schedule, there's a cost, you know, so there's time and money
Yeah.
involved in all of them, and then there's certainly safety and quality that go along with those as well. But you know, we try to be very proactive and communicate schedules, communicate costs, get commitments out of everyone. But once in a while, you get a subcontractor for a variety of reasons that they call you and say, I can't make this deadline. You know, something came up there. The other project they're on is taking too long, and therefore it's going to affect our project. Or, you know, the engineering is too complicated; it's taking us longer to figure it out. Or, you know what, my 3 foremen called in sick, or their wives having a baby. Or, you know, like there's a myriad of opportunities. You know, during COVID or during the tariffs, like there's price increases, there's material delays, things like that. So it's a whole gamut of opportunities of discussion, and we try to be open and honest and transparent and solve those problems, right? So the expectation is that they call us as soon as they have an issue with it, and then we immediately engage with our customer. You know, we try to figure out a solution, and then once we have the best solution possible, we'll meet with our customer as well and say, okay, these are the facts, this is what happened, this is the downstream effects of it, this is how it will affect your business, this is also what we're going to try to do to make sure that we keep the project, you know, on schedule or as close to what it was. Most people are understanding, they're all running businesses, they're all dealing with people. So it's just a matter of being transparent and communicating timely. I have a good rule: you don't have to remember the truth, right? So as long as you're always being honest, you know, it's an easy way to sleep good at night, because you're working hard, and
And the sooner the better. Don't have it be found out another way,
Right.
like let you be the one. And although it's hard
right.
to have to deliver news like that sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's the honesty is the only way.
Yeah.
Like you guys are ultimately responsible, you know, for your subcontractor's performance on your customer's project or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I've been told several times, well, you picked them, not me. And so, you're right, I did. We did, but, you know, we did for these reasons. And, you know, there's a lot of history there. And I go back to what I said earlier. You know, people want to do good. I don't believe anyone wakes up in the day and says, how am I going to, you know, mess up this day for Kelly? what can I do to upset her today? I don't think people
It's not
wake up that way.
Yeah.
So, but it's much more of a how can I help you?
Is it hard to like find a balance over like the company's like integrity and then like versus like profit? Like where's like the middle line, or like where does it sit for like profit, but like you want to do the right thing? Like
Mhm.
where does, because I know like obviously like you want to make money at the end of the day, but like
Mhm.
like what are some challenges with like dealing with like profit or doing the right thing?
It's not a question, or even it's not a thought. There's no decision we made. It's always about doing the right thing all the time. Our core focus is to create and maintain raving fans, and the way you do that is by doing a good job, you know, charging a fair price for the work you're performing for them, because we're a service business, and so they're hiring us because they don't know how to build this building addition or remodel a restroom or whatever it is we're doing for them. And so whenever a situation comes up that is that might cost us some money because of, we made a mistake, or there's a delay, or something changed from what we had previously communicated, then we take responsibility for that. And it's an easy decision here because it just falls back to, some of it's our core values, but it's just the basic principles of good business is, do what you say and say what you do. And if you do that repeatedly over and over again, the money and the profit will be there in the long run. So
That's what Kudak says, like
Yeah.
that's like what he praises for on us is like, if you're gonna do something like profit, just be honest, because in the long run you'll be more successful.
Right.
So,
I mean, I've never had a perfect project. I've been doing this a long time. They don't exist. There's always going to be something that's going to go wrong, but how you handle it, it actually builds more trust with the client than by trying to skirt around it or hide. And we've had a few people that have worked here that have gone about it a different way. And I said they worked here because they're not working here anymore because they didn't follow the core belief of our company, and it led to some tougher conversations. But handling adversity and how you treat the clients, the subcontractors, and I say it the same way. Like there's plenty of opportunities in this industry to not hold up good ethical standards. I mean, there's books written on plenty of construction companies that have skirted specifications and industry standards, and that's just not something that we even think about or talk about or practice because it will catch you in the end, and
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
And it may cost money if mistakes are made, but if you uphold your trust and your honesty all the way through, that all comes back. Relationships sustain them.
Yeah, our superintendents, who are the tip of the spear, right? They're on site every day, making sure that these buildings are getting put up well, and they know that if they have a problem, they can certainly call, Neil, who's their immediate director, or myself if they can't get a hold of them. And I would much rather spend money now to avoid a problem down the road, because we stand behind our buildings. We give our clients a 5-year extended warranty because we are that confident in what we do and how well we build buildings and complete projects for them, that I don't have to go back and fix a lot of things down the road because we do it right the first time. And I would much rather spend a little bit more now, because if I have to go fix something 3 years from now that failed, it's going to cost 5 times as more money plus all the lost time and energy, whereas I'd much rather just do it right the first time, and then we can go on and keep building other projects.
do you guys ever have to pick up slack for other building companies? Like a client will like call you guys, like, we had this other company but we stopped halfway through. Can you guys pick up where they left off?
I don't think we've ever finished a project that someone started that I can recall. I know that we've taken over projects that were in the design phase, that they hired an architect and then the project was over budget and they couldn't figure out how to get it to within budget, and then they came to us and we were able to, through a series of questions and programming discussions, figure out a solution that met their budget, that still was of high quality, and it wasn't maybe the exact thing that they were previously looking at, but because of how we operate, we look at things in a different light than maybe a true just architectural firm looks at it.
And there's been companies that have built with us that maybe experienced building with another company before they came to us, and it wasn't great with them, and then they gave us an opportunity to work with them, and it obviously went better.
You guys got the buildings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think like maintaining your high ethical standard and focusing more on, like, I guess you could say, customer satisfaction rather than like maximizing profits has helped you guys like maintain success over a long period of time? Like I think you said 69 years coming soon.
Yeah.
Has that like core value or belief been here since day one?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's definitely paid us dividends in the long run. I think if I looked at it the last couple of years, probably 70 or 80% of our business is from repeat customers.
Yeah, I
or,
saw something about
or
that.
one-off referrals where it
Yeah.
might be a friend of a friend that calls us, and a lot of it doesn't. We're not competing against other firms because they know that we're going to treat them fairly, and we're going to perform and do what we say we're going to do.
Online, it says that the company was owned by somebody who was in the military. And I'm trying to figure this out. I wrote it down. It's just,
That's okay.
I'm trying to find it. But how has like somebody who does he still own it? What's his name?
He
Dirk.
is Dirk.
Dirk.
Deckman. Yes.
Okay.
He's not the majority owner, but he still is an owner.
Okay.
So, yep.
And but like, how has that? I guess. What do I say?
Was there any like, I don't know, it was something about discipline.
Yeah,
right?
it said as a veteran-owned business, how does military discipline influence your leadership style?
So,
I don't know if that like relates to it.
You want this one?
I think from my experience back when I started, Dirk's military style, his ethics, like all of that has been interwoven into this company, and Ken and John have carried that through. There was no interruption. It didn't feel like, oh, it's different now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like those ethical standards were started from day one, and that's very important in how this business is run.
Yeah, and I think it was even before Dirk took over. I mean, his dad was in the military too, but yeah, it's just we've been a very structured, process-oriented company with high discipline, and then I would say about 10 years ago is when we started the EOS traction journey, which EOS is an entrepreneurial operating system, and there's a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, and we really adopted that language, that vernacular, that operating system, mainly because we were doing about 80% of it already. And so it was just changing a few words and phrases, but then it helped to, again, just continue to promote that discipline, that organization, and that consistency within how we manage our projects and how we operate. I think that, yeah, discipline and consistency along with a fair amount of honesty really helps to provide a successful business.
I saw online about the 5 core values you guys have here. Which one would you say, if you could, is the most important? Just like working here, like, not at any specific like level of employee or whatnot, but just like for any given employee, which one would be the most important?
What do you think, Kelly?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna say integrity. Yeah, I mean, I would say everybody here has all of this, but everybody's got strengths and weaknesses, and we honor our employees each month with a core value award, and you saw that on the
I
website.
saw that
but-
Luke. What's his name?
Yeah, Luke is one of our superintendents. He won the,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's integrity to me. Like that's the one that we kind of have through the halls. That's how it was designed. Like this is our passion room, but integrity is something that's interwoven into all of us and every department, every meeting, every project.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why it's first. I think that's paramount to everything we do. It defines who you are as a person and defines how you behave, how you act. I mean, really, it's like that one might be 1A, and then the rest of them are 1B,
Yeah.
because you need to be committed.
Yeah.
You need to be able to exhibit trust. You need to be passionate about what you're doing day in and day
Yeah.
out, and we work in a team. Like there is no individual successes here. We win or lose as a team. Even down to our compensation structure is tied to that. Like we either all do really well or we all don't do really well. But when we all don't do really well, it's because we didn't perform as a team.
Team,
So
right.
again, back to the sports analogy, it's an easy one, right? You practice hard, you you usually play a little bit better.
Yeah.
You have some crummy practices leading up to a game, you're probably gonna get beat.
Yeah.
And we like to win.
Yeah.
Is there a specific time where you could think that there's been like an issue that you had to overcome and you were able to like continue to have like a good relationship with the customer from like any said project?
Yeah, I mean, there's, like during COVID, that was a tough time. You know, there's a lot of rules changing, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of information that needed to be processed, you know, just everyone had to navigate that where they were, right? And so some companies were very open and said, yeah, just don't worry, you know, the rules are the rules and we'll work around them. Others were very fearful and, you know, closed things down, and obviously we needed to keep generating revenue and keep our team busy, and so we navigated that with transparency and with communication and just trying to be as you know, accurate with the information we knew at hand, and just ultimately just trying to be the most responsible to take care of our team and to respect all of our clients and where they were at with their, you know, with their rules and regulations. And so, but yeah, it led to a lot of interesting dialogue, and even just this past summer, you know, with all the tariff conversations, there's so much uncertainty out there, and it's hard to lead with conviction and certainty when you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you have to take all the information you have, you know, make the best decision for the greater good of the team, and have confidence that it's right. And you know, I will never be so arrogant to say that I make all the right decisions all the time, but I feel good knowing on how hard I work for the team, on behalf of the team, to make sure that, you know, I'm putting everyone in a good place to be successful.
Awesome. I feel like this is a better question for you.
Okay.
How do you manage the single source responsibility with like, or with Garen, or like, how do you manage like individuals with so many large departments across like the company? Like single source responsibility, you know what that means?
So single source responsibility to me is that someone can come in here and need an addition, a remodel, a new building, and our company can take care of you from initial thoughts all the way up to the finished product. And because we have all of those departments in-house, we work together as a team. And there's different teams that work together, so it's not like you're always working with the same people. We have just shy of 50 people here, but everybody's kind of working in different groups to take care of the projects, get them done well, and what our client is looking for. That's how we promote the single source responsibility. Come in and we'll take care of you. Like there's other firms out there that we can do this for you, but you're gonna have to hire the design outside of our company. And so that creates lags, that creates like a chance for error with communication. We have that all here, like walk down the hall and talk to my coworker because we're all right here ready to take care of our clients.
Also,
Do you guys, are you guys in-house for marketing, or do you guys outsource for marketing?
We are in-house for
So
marketing.
you guys have like
We have a marketing coordinator, but we have also a marketing team. So there's different employees that contribute to that and take care of everything from actual e-blast marketing, social media, events, public relations. There's a team of us that kind of take care of that.
yeah, even down to like our website. I mean, we have a company that hosts our website, but we do all the updating of it, and then yeah, like you said, our proposals and everything that goes out of house. We want to make sure it's consistent, and you know, that branding and that messaging is professionally done. So.
Besides word of mouth, how do you guys, what's like the best, like how do you guys promote yourself best? Like not with like, I don't know, online, do you guys have like commercials, or do you guys have like billboards, or is it all just word of mouth? Like what is it calling?
It is. It's heavily focused on word of mouth and just doing a good job.
And our clients
Yeah.
sharing that word and coming back to us for more.
Yep.
We used to do more of that, like print ads, and we have done billboards, but
Did some
the,
commercials, yeah.
yep, the best is the work we do.
Right, yeah, our clients are truly our best source of lead generation, and our subcontractors too, like they will provide, work for us through their network. You know, some of our mechanical trades, they perform a service, you know, we build a building and, you know, a lot of times they'll do, you know, little remodels for them or change filters for HVAC or do annual sprinkler inspections. Well, they're also doing that at a lot of other firms, and so if they hear that someone is considering a building addition, they'll refer us to that, which is, that's, you know, those are probably the two biggest sources of leads.
We do a
Then-
lot of
yeah.
like trade shows, do a lot of networking. Our sales and marketing team is out doing events and collaborating with other
Yeah.
people just to get our name out there.
One of my favorite things is our employee referral program. So if one of our employees brings a lead in that turns into a project, then they get a cash bonus for that. And we hand it out on our Tuesday morning meeting and we count it out publicly. And there's a plaque or a list of names on the wall there for those that have done that. So it's pretty cool.
Do you guys often find yourself chasing clients or clients coming to you?
They come to us more than,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have circumstances where we meet a new client, especially when we have new employees that have connections, but that we do compete for. But I would say we normally are entertaining a repeat or someone that's coming to us saying, we want you to be our people to do this.
I feel like that's like I feel like that's a hard question to answer because it's like, how big is your ego?
Right, and
Yeah.
But like, it's not like, I'm saying like from like a professional standpoint.
yeah, I mean, we do compete for things and we don't always win, but I'd say we,
When-
just factual,
Yeah.
we usually do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not, it's like
Not because I think we're great, because I do, but it's,
Sometimes I feel like it's like hard, it's like talking about yourself.
Right.
It can be hard too, but
Right.
like it's, I was just curious, so.
yeah,
Well,
we show by example of what
Yeah.
we've done.
And we certainly have target business sectors that we perform better in, and so we try to associate ourselves in those type of opportunities and put it and just make sure we get in the room for those conversations. You know, we have a bigger strategic network of, you know, attorneys and bankers and insurance agents, and they all know who we are and how we operate, and so they provide a lot of opportunities and even just one-off, you know, lunches, like, hey, I know so-and-so that owns this business, I think you should talk to them, and, you know, it's just, I like, I mean, certainly we're a design-build construction company, but I like to think that we help businesses grow through a design-build construction solution, and that's really a lot of my focus is on, you know, what do they need, how can we help them, you know, it might be just simply like, you know, one customer, they want a better, improved experience for their employees, and so they want to update the break room and the restrooms, because it's you know, they're 40 years old and they're just tired and dated, right? So they want a nice place to break. And there's another customer that has 3 pieces of equipment coming from Germany, and we have to have a building addition for them, so that when the equipment arrives, it's got a place to go and set up, because they're putting a new business unit online. So it's all different opportunities to help businesses grow.
What have been some of your guys' like favorite, like recent times, like last probably decade maybe, favorite projects that you guys have done?
Yeah.
Mm.
Or if you had like one, like that you could be like, wow, that was a good project.
It's like my favorite kid. I can't.
Yeah, right.
Changes by the day.
I mean, I just because like I'm an Oconomowoc person,
Yeah.
I love when we get local jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also very active in the Oconomowoc Chamber of Commerce, so
Okay.
being able to talk about that with other Oconomowoc businesses who may not know what we do and show an example of all the places that we've touched in this community is super cool. So that's a hard question.
Yeah, I like the challenging ones. Like anyone can build a building, right?
Yeah.
And so right now, for instance, we're building a new store for Sendix in Whitefish Bay, and it's a 2-story grocery store. It's very urban, so, you know, there's streets all around it. There's an active store right next to our construction site, so it's very congested, very tight. A lot of, you know, on-time delivery coordination and just, so it's not an easy project. And those are the ones that I really, I enjoy them. I like the challenge of it. And I especially like at the end when we succeed with our client, with our subcontractor partners. Like those are very rewarding to me. But then, you know, we work with some non-for-profit groups and churches, and you know,
Yeah, so that online.
it's really rewarding to work side by side a church organization where you have people that are contributing their hard-earned money into, you know, building either a church addition or a multi-purpose room. And you know, that ribbon cutting potluck ceremony is always a fun. It's always a fun time. So yeah, so like I said, I just enjoy what we get to do, and so it's hard to
Projects like
pick
that,
one.
you
Yeah.
see, like, obviously we touch businesses to grow, just great.
Mhm.
But like a church, like we're building a church in Helenville right now in the middle of the country. It's like small town USA. And it's like, it's beautiful, and we did the groundbreaking, and all of the families, you see people that are 90 years old that have always gone to this church.
Yeah.
And then you see babies that are gonna grow up in the church. Like,
Mhm.
seeing the impact of something like that is
Yeah.
pretty cool to be a part of.
Yeah.
What do you guys like look for? Like, new candidates, like if Aiden and I were to like put in an application, what would we have to like, what would we get, like if there's like a checklist, or like what would we have to like be qualified for like a job here?
Me, you. Well, I guess it depends on the role. You know, you certainly need to have some experience in the role that you're applying for. Most of our roles require a minimum an associate's degree of some sort.